Watch your hard cover slip off, money, give me my paper back. My city stay caffeinated. Insomniacs, act, sleep, and keep on swearing y'all ain't heard of us. Town hold a mind for a down top, just murder us.
Alright, so we're here with Ryan. Is it Ryan?
Yes.
Ryan from Common Market, and he's also known as Raw Scion.
Yes.
Right? And we're here with 88tillinfinity.com. We're doing a show out here in Salt Lake City in the venue. You work under 3 different channels.
If we're talking about like an individual identity, it's Raw Scion. That's who I am as an MC. And then working with SobZ was the Common Market project. And then working with MTK, that was the Victor Shade project. But then earlier this year, I put out the Beg, Borrow, Steal EP, just a 3-song EP as Raw Scion. So that's 3 different producers.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the idea behind it.
Do these offer different options for you?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I draw a lot of inspiration from the music. I didn't used to write to a beat, specifically to a beat, until I moved to Seattle. Just before I started working with SobZ, I really learned to appreciate the relationship between the music and the lyrics. Like, you hear the beat first, and that becomes the inspiration. Like, it really, in many ways, it speaks to you. It'll give you an idea. It'll provide a concept, for which to write, to that beat. And I think that's why Common Market was my most successful project, probably even to date, is because of that relationship between beat and lyric.
Specifically, beg, borrow, and steal. Like, what's the concepts between that?
The phrase is something that my mom taught me. I used to hear my mom use that phrase growing up. And then I hadn't heard it for years. So I identify with it as almost like a Southern thing. It means that you will get what you need to get, beg, borrow, or steal. So, I mean, if you have to beg for it, if you have to borrow it, if you have to steal it, one way or another, you're going to get it. In this economic time, inspired by Occupy movements and inspired by the Anonymous movement, it just, I don't know, it inspired me to create the Beg, Borrow, Steal. Not so much just about our money, although that is extremely important because money is power, money is political power, money is necessary for survival, and we as lower middle class Americans are constantly being fucked out of our money. We're being cheated, and I'm not just talking about taxes. Like, I pay taxes, I believe in taxes. Taxes are not evil, taxes are good. It's not that. It's not some Tea Party shit. We are constantly being cheated. Like this disparity between wealth and poverty seems to be growing rather than shrinking. Right? We are definitely polarizing in this country between rich and poor. And yeah, so of course I'm motivated by that, just at an economic level, just about dollars and cents. Like, we don't have enough, and you guys have way too much. So beg, borrow, steal, we're going to get it back, right? But then it has a lot to do, with freedoms and civil liberties. Politically speaking, this is a pivotal moment, I think, in American history. Our civil liberties are being compromised.
What influenced all of this conscious rap, or your political stuff and your socialist stuff?
So many things, yeah. Being born and raised in Kentucky had a profound impact. Being a white male. Some of these are conditions that I had no control over, right? But then some are your peer group, your community, whether it's the community that you're born into, your immediate surroundings, or the friends that you choose, through middle school and through high school. This group of friends, like, some of those things you have control over, some of them you don't. But all of them put together is gonna develop you. They're all different filters, right? Like, so the information that I'm taking in, like, I'm running it through so many different filters, and being white is one of them. Being a male is one of them. Being from Kentucky is one of them. Some of them are your experiences, and some of them are just conditions. Some of them are conscious, and some of them are subconscious. But yeah, all of those things have made me who I am. It's not that I was raised a certain way. It's not that my parents are who they are. Or the school that I went to. it's not just those channels, you know, that produced me as, you know, either Ryan Abeo or Scion. It's a whole bunch of different things. Like it is not just those things. It's those things with a whole bunch of other.
So in terms of content, that makes sense. The different filters. What about style? Have you ever tried to, were you influenced by anyone particularly on just style?
Oh hell yeah, yeah, definitely. When I was in 6th grade, I would just rap LL Cool J lyrics. Like I would just straight rap his stuff in the halls between classes and stuff. So stylistically, that's where I come from. I talk about identifying with that East Coast New York rap. I used to just rap like Rakim, because Rakim was tight. Right? I mean, Rakim is the god MC. De La Soul is a huge influence. Stylistically, De La Soul has been a huge influence on the way that I write. Not always so much in like the delivery, or my voice doesn't sound like anybody from De La. But they've been very influential over the years in the way that I write music. A lot of people say that I sound like Talib, like the voice. And I go back and listen to some early Scion stuff and the first Common Market album, and they're right. Like, I mean, there are sometimes when I think I sound like Talib, but that wasn't by choice. It definitely wasn't by choice. In fact, I thought Talib really fucked up the Black Star album. I remember getting that album and thinking, man, I wish Talib Kweli wasn't on it. I love Talib Kweli now as an artist, but he's done so much growing as an artist. What's funny is, like, we think of Talib as like, I mean, he's an older dude, right? Nobody considers Talib to be up and coming. He's old news, but like he and I are the same age. We were influenced probably by the same artist. We just never had the same opportunities. So I guess the point is, like, developmentally, a lot of people consider, like, well, I guess what it is I feel like I'm almost at the end of my career as well. Whereas some people might think, you know, I'm just starting to establish a career because they're just now hearing about Common Market or Scion or whatever the case might be. But I'm getting older, like far too old to be trying to break into rap music. Does that make sense? Yeah. So that's how I feel. I feel like I'm on my way out. I feel like I'm making an exit. But there's a creative element inside of me. Like, there's something that makes me want to keep making music, or, you know, keep writing. And maybe that'll last forever. I don't know. But I'm not too worried about getting famous, you know? I'm not too worried about, you know, being able to feed my family off of music. I always kept a full-time job for that.
Rock bottom hollering, it starts with the tummy growling. Criminal minded and becoming violent. Went from peace guard to these